This is kind of unexpected. This is my dorm room. Sorry about the mess, but I thought I might as well show you guys this before I leave. I'm leaving. I'm gonna be home for summer vacation in 2 weeks, which means uploads are going to be less often. Unfortunately, just because the internet there is terrible. But um, this is where I've been living for the past what 8, almost 9 months, and I'll be continuing to live in the same room next year. It's it's not much. It's obviously very small. I have 2 closets here. I'll show you. Not much. Got a whole bunch of towels and shit, but um. It's really not much. I just thought I'd show you guys where I've been living when I'm not at home. It's just a closet that I had laundry shit in and my towels are hanging. It's an old water, thing. Need to throw that out. My duffel bag. It's weird because places just felt like home for a while now. I remember the day I moved in, it was all weird because I'd been, college summer vacation's a very long time, and when you go home from it, and when you come back, it really feels like it really just feels, it's hard to adjust back to the college schedule, getting up early every day. Because especially last summer, I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. It could be, 10 minutes, it could be an hour. Depends how long I want to talk. Show you some more stuff. Window. Hey, there's me. And just, where I've been staying. But over the summer, I would stay up until 4 a.m. every single night. I can count the nights where I went to bed before midnight on one hand over the summer, last summer, just because my job, I worked at a Domino's. I would only work nights because what kind of pizza place is busy in the daytime? So, I would sleep until noon, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I could. My shifts were also always super short. I'd work mainly 3-hour shifts. What is that? And it was minimum wage, so I'd make essentially $20 per shift. Sometimes I'd work, 4 hours. Sometimes I'd work 3.5, but it was usually 3, which sucks, honestly. But now I have a new job, which I work at a grocery store. The shifts are a lot longer. The shortest shift I've ever had is 5 hours there, which is great, and the pay is a lot better. Usually my shifts are usually 7 or 8 hours. I'm actually about to, it's Thursday night when I'm recording this. I'm probably going to drive home from campus tomorrow and just relax tomorrow. But on Saturday, I'm working 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 at night because I have to close the store. Then I don't know what time I'm working until on Sunday, or if I'm working at all. Because the way we do our schedule where I work is a week starts on Sunday and ends on Saturday, not Monday and ending on Sunday like most jobs. Because, it's not a corporate, we work on weekends. So, I don't know what my schedule is until Thursday night when I get it emailed to me. Like, I've had weekends where I've only worked on Friday, I've had weekends where I've only worked on Saturday, and I've had weekends where I've only worked on Sunday. But usually it's not, I'm off on Friday so I can drive home, then I work Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure. I'd honestly prefer to not work on Sunday unless I get off at like 5 o'clock, because as you know, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and the next pay-per-view is on Sunday night. So I'd like to get back before 8 o'clock because I have to get back here, which is an hour away from home. So the latest I could get off and not miss any of the show would be 6, probably 6, because 6:30 I still have to park my car and get all my laundry back in my dorm. So unless I get off at like 5, which I usually do on Sunday, the latest I've ever gotten off on a Sunday would be 7. And if I miss the first, 15, 20 minutes of the show, it's no big deal. I can just watch it like the day after. But I'd prefer to not. So if I work like 10 to 6, that'll be fine. I really hope I don't have to open, because closing and opening is the worst. The last time that happened to me, I got 1 hour of sleep just because I have sleeping problems. What else do I have to say? I might as well show you what gaming stuff I have here. Here's, my television. It's kind of big, but it's old. My Wii, I have Melee in there right now. PS3, PS2. I used to be a big fan of baseball, and I still play that game sometimes. Let's see here. Don't throw up. Oh, wait. That won't work since it's going to turn. Some games I have, Dragon Quest, Pokemon, Pikmin, Melee, Four Swords, Eternal Darkness, more Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Bravely Default, and then some PlayStation games, Persona 4, Kirby, Dragon Ball Season 2, more games. It's easy to take them home because usually I just keep them in that shelf. But I don't know. What sucks is taking this thing home, because first I have to undo all the wires, and then it's just so awkward to hold. It's pretty heavy too, so I have to take that to the elevator. I might get my RA to help me take it down again, but I don't want to. It's good because exams. I'm leaving during the last exam day. One thing I'm kind of confused about is how we're doing our exams this semester. Usually, because you've heard of finals week, it starts on a Monday and then ends on, Friday, which it was like that last semester. It's been like that my last 3 semesters, because I'm a sophomore right now, in my second semester of sophomore year. What would usually happen is, it would start on Monday, then end on Friday, which is great. When my second semester of freshman year, my last day was a Thursday, not Friday, since I didn't have any exams on Friday, which was really nice. So I got to beat a lot of the traffic. But also it sucked because it was pouring down rain that day. I'm sorry if I'm walking around, that's kind of awkward for the camera. But, I'm just glad. I was just ready to be home. That was, spring semester. It was not terrible, work-wise. A lot of my friends can attest to this. I really wasn't in a good place during then, because you're going to see me film the conventions I go to. One second, I'm going to reply to this message. This guy's waiting. My friend's waiting on me. Okay. But, so, I go to MagFest every single winter. And, 99% of the time, it's going to be the first weekend of January like it was this year. In 2015, it was the like last weekend of January, I think, just because of some. There was some no, it wasn't that. It was because it starts on a Thursday usually. It's because the first Thursday of January was the first, so that didn't work. So they moved it to the end, which was fine for me. I was in high school at the time, but I didn't have any classes on, or it started on a Friday that year anyway. And my teacher allowed me to skip because it was just exam week, and I took the exam early, so I could skip. High school is a lot more lenient than college. But in 2016, it was in February, the middle of February, not the beginning or end of January, the middle of February, which a lot of people had problems with, and a lot of people actually didn't go because of that. But I still went because MagFest is like my favorite thing. I never miss it. So I started going all 4 days in 2015. My first year I only went for 2 days, then the next 2 years I only went for 3, but I have to go all 4. Well, I took a bus on Thursday morning. The way I had my classes set up, because I missed class to go. I only had classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I got after classes on Wednesday. My mom picked me up because I didn't have my car on campus and drove me home. And then my dad drove me to the bus station the next morning. I only got like 1 hour of sleep because I was so excited. My dad drove me to the bus station at like 4:30 in the morning because I got the earliest bus to DC. Because at that point, my parents still weren't comfortable with me driving far away. It's like 2 hours, but still. So I got on the bus was like 40 minutes late, and that was just the start of what was to come that weekend. So I'd never used the Uber app before because I got to the bus station, and it was like a 20 minute ride to the convention center from there. So I had to get a Uber, which I'd never used before, and it literally took me like a half hour to get one, just because of how technologically inept I am. And I finally get to the convention. Convention hasn't started yet. It starts around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the first day, but this is just going to become MagFest story time for the past 2 years. So I meet with one of my roommates and put my shit in the room. And what do? We just meet up with everyone, honestly. And it was a fun weekend. You know, I had some internal shit going on. And it was just weird. And this year's MagFest was weird too. But just it being in February just made it so much more difficult for everybody. And when I had to take another Uber, and they had surge prices on the final day, so it cost me literally $50 to get to the station. And then I got back. So I left the convention at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like the first person to leave on the final day, which sucked. I had to leave all my friends before everyone else. But so I get to the bus station at 2:30 in the afternoon. I wanted to make sure I'd have plenty of time to get to my bus, just because Union Station in Washington D.C. is huge, and you have to make sure. So I get to my bus. Or at the station at 2:30, and my bus is supposed to leave at 4 o'clock, meaning I should be getting back to Richmond, Virginia, which is where I was living at the time and where I'm from. Live a little further than that, or like 30 minutes away from there now. So the bus is like, it's on time, but it gets back to Richmond like 20 minutes late. And there was a wrestling show that night, a pay-per-view. I was, wanting to watch. I ended up missing the first match of it just because it was late and it was like pouring down rain and my mom had to drive me back to campus. So it was like an hour and a half after, being dropped off that my mom had to drive. So ended up being like a 4-hour travel home time. So, yeah, and just after that, there's always, you get sad after a convention ends, and, and there was just some other shit that I don't want to talk about on camera, just because it's pretty private, but, I ended up essentially losing a friend, like, the week after that, and that really hurt me. I didn't actually lose a friend, but that's the only analogy I can think to relate. I essentially lost a friend, which broke my heart, really. But it took me a while. But yeah, the end of February and March of 2016 were hell. But after mid-April, things really picked up because, classes were ending, so about a year ago. I went to a concert to see my favorite band, which is, I talk about them in person a lot. My favorite band is Pearl Jam. They played in Virginia, and I got to go see them again. So it's always great to see them. That really, lifted my spirits and got me in a good mood. Finals, I, did all right on them. And then I got to go home for the summer. I got a new job with the Domino's, which I only worked for like 6 months. And, for the whole summer, I was generally pretty happy. There was some, a couple times where I got into some shit, but for the most part, I would say the summer of 2016 is one of my favorite summers. Got to go to too many games, which was better than MagFest, in my opinion, for 2016. The wrestling got really good over the summer. Anyway, might as well tell you about this year's MagFest since I talked about last year's. I decided that I wanted, because, it really sucks leaving MagFest on the last day, especially if you're not driving, you have to, be out by a certain time. So I decided I talked to my friends like, hey, we should get the hotel, because it was during my college winter break, because they announced we would be back the first weekend of January. I'm like, hey, why don't we go from the day before to the day after, so we can experience all of MagFest and then some, which is what we did for Too Many Games in 2016. So we did that, and we went to MagFest. It was just a great time. I got there really early on the day before. I got there at 10 a.m. So there was a lot of waiting involved on day 0. And there was, obviously, it didn't go perfectly. On the day we left, we actually went to another convention or event, which was AGDQ. My car wouldn't start because I drove this time. So I had to get someone in the garage to jumpstart my car. And then I had the parking. I must have messed up because there's some way to get a deal on the parking. Maybe scan your room key or something instead of the ticket they give you. But I had to pay $167 for parking for the entire trip, which is fucking ridiculous. But after MagFest and AGDQ, so I was essentially gone. I was gone for a week. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was, because we left. I'm trying to think. Did we leave? Oh, we left Thursday, I think. Either Thursday or... Yeah, it was Thursday. So I was essentially gone for 8 days. And then when I got home, I just kind of reflected on the trip. I had to work one more day. Then I had to go back to campus for this semester. And you know what? Usually I'm pretty, down for the winter after MagFest, but I've been in pretty high spirits this semester, which is good. There have been a couple times where things are, not so great. But, we got to go to WrestleMania, which was awesome, which you guys saw. And we'll be going back. We're going to be going back for the next 2 years at least. And there's plenty more wrestling shows that I'll take you guys to. But overall, though, I decided to film tonight just because I've been feeling kind of down. But though things maybe seem kind of, shitty for me right now, just tonight, with just some feelings, you're revving up again. The future's bright, definitely. And it's just going to take me some time to see that. Anyway, I've been rambling on for over 20 minutes now. So I'm going to leave you guys alone. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, the vlogs are going to be less frequent since I'll be home. But I'll try to get some more up for you guys. Peace.